Good morning. Sometimes when you start getting into models, you realize that you have to bond parts together after you've pre-painted. So what you have to do and go in and scrape the paint off where you're going to bond them. But then you have to let them sit so that the bond forms. So I had to put that in to mount my gauge panel on. But one thing I was going to show you guys, you see these flashings on the back? When you mount it, they won't be seen, but it's still a good idea to let you take your parts and clean these. They're actually ejector pin marks off, because you never know when something might be getting in the way of them and cause you to have a misfit that you didn't count on. I don't think there's going to be on this one, but it's just like, just do it to make sure you don't run into the problems. And sometimes it's better off to glue from the opposite side of your part, because you can put it in there. And like I made the rudder pedal slightly off, this model has the ability to turn the rudder. So I'm going to mount the rudder and the tail wheel turned a little bit because they're tied together. Just little intricacies to make your model a little more interesting, see if people notice. It's something I like to do. Not everybody does it. Another thing I was going to show you is, while you're making your model, make note of where it says stuff needs to be painted, and make sure that the parts that you're putting in, like the inside of this, is supposed to be the same color, this color green. And the reason for that is, this was their rust proofing that they used. It was a different color to what the Americans was. The Americans was zinc chromate. This is a real light pale green instead of that zinc chromate green, which is a darker green. Just little touches to make your plane or car. You can do it in cars too. Like I do the engine compartments black, because most engine compartments are black, because that way they hide the grease and oil that gets splashed around in them. But on an airplane, they wanted it a brighter color so you could see the oil or stuff that got splashed around, so you could find the leak so it didn't cause the airplane to go down. Just little things that people don't always think about. You always got to make sure you have a good bond on your plastic to plastic, because that way it holds when you get your model together and nothing's moving around. Well, you have a good day, and all of you enjoy your modeling.